So it is official, we are finished with Egghead Arc. We have a toast celebrating our on pathway to Elbaf. And like I said last chapter, Egghead was pretty good. I give it 9 out of 10 for the whole mini arc, which is a pretty good rating on my end. There were so many things packed in Egghead between the 5 elders, the new Yonko Luffy versus Lucci. Then we have other power scaling where you got Lucci versus Luffy, then Luffy versus the Seraphim, Luffy versus the 5 elders, Zoro versus a 5 elder. It's so many things was packed in Egghead, and that's why I gave it a 9 out of 10 rating. To finally see the 5 elders come down from their throne and try to wreak havoc on Egghead was masterful. Seeing actually what the 5 elders can do finally gave me a big idea of who's actually strongest in this One Piece verse. And like I said before, I'm not seeing the Straw Hats being the 5 elders right now. Like, Luffy cannot even put a dent in Top Man. The way the 5 elders performed in this arc was amazing, and like I said before, put some respect on the 5 elders' name. Ethan Boron even had Zoro sweating. Ethan Boron highlights in this mini arc was on a whole nother level. That is the pinnacle of what swordsmen should be. Like, bro, Ethan Boron even had Zoro sweating in fear, telling them let's go after they clash. And we all know Zoro is there for a challenge, and I feel like he didn't want no smoke with Ethan Boron right now. And with all that said and done, I can actually say and feel comfortable with saying the Straw Hats are not ready for the 5 elders just yet. But if we want to talk about chapter 1124, we have to understand that this chapter is pretty short. I was thinking it's gonna be a big world building chapter, but we got some of the small things to get out of the way before we get the world building chapter. But we start the chapter off with Vivi and Morgans arguing. Now, it's definitely a coincidence because we just found out who would play Vivi in the One Piece live action, and also Cobra, which is amazing. And the person who's playing Vivi is super excited for the role she has in the One Piece live action. She went to actually Twitter and every social media platform to exude how strongly she's so happy that she's playing Vivi. But we have Vivi actually scolding Morgans because Morgans actually lied, and she know that Luffy nowhere near planning the assassination of Dr. Vegapunk. He's not like that. So I can see why Vivi is so mad in this chapter. But ideally, Morgan is helping Luffy out, and I feel like Morgan has been on the side with Luffy this whole time. Like, do not be surprised if Dragon and Morgans know each other. That's how much he's glazing Luffy right now. Even though it's a bad rep, Luffy is getting so much exposure because of Morgans. Ideally, this is good and bad for Luffy, but at the same time, Luffy bounty is gonna rise because of Morgan, and it keep on rising because of Morgans. Morgans know that he is the most important figure right now in the One Piece world. It's so much noise centered around Luffy right now, and that people love the scoop, love the drama that Luffy is bringing to the new world. So now this is even guaranteed that Luffy bounty was raised because of what Morgan is gonna have in the papers. And like I said last chapter, it's gonna be a small amount, not that much, but a small amount where Luffy can branch off between Eustace and Law's bounty. He even is gonna pit what happened to Law and Eustace in the journal. I'm saying right now, Morgan has so many news reporters that can inch their way into small spots, because how would they know what happened to Eustace and Law? I feel as though Luffy's gonna hear about Law and Eustace in the newspaper, what Robin and Jinbei actually read, even Frankie. So I feel that he's gonna hear about these fellow people that he had associates with to take down Kaido, and maybe feel some type of way about it. But at the same time, Luffy gotta continue with his journey. Like, he's on road to become the Pirate King, and he's also heading to Elbaf, so he gotta continue with his journey. And maybe I can say if Eustace is somewhere around, he gotta be somewhere on Elbaf licking his wounds, because I'm pretty sure Shanks already left Elbaf because Luffy's on the way to Elbaf, and I'm pretty sure Shanks don't want to see Luffy just yet. And also, the community has been in shambles because of dialogue between Kizaru and Akainu. Akainu calling Kizaru his brother, but it's already stated on Twitter that, you know, the translation is like what Akainu is saying to Kizaru is the same way how Ace see Luffy, how Luffy see Ace, and how Sabo see Ace, and how Ace see Sabo as you know, share of cups of brother sack. Like, you know, we share cups, so now we're brothers eternally. And it actually shocked me knowing that Akainu apologized to Kizaru when Akainu thought, you know, Barcelona was just slacking off. He said, I'm sorry, my brother. Like, that relationship that Akainu and Kizaru have is so surprising to me, because we never seen Akainu like this before. Apologize to somebody, Akainu would never, but he did to Kizaru, and that shows the brotherly bond they have with each other. But aside from that, we see a small little panel of Shintomaru actually leaving Egghead Crown with some of the baggage that he need, and we see that Kizaru is up and alive. So we already know that Kizaru let Shintomaru leave. Same thing like Aokiji let Robin leave. Correlation between the two and the way that Kizaru and the way that Aokiji actually are, you have to understand Kizaru's mind frame of actually, he just unalived his best friend and he's crying. But throughout this whole Egghead and the match between, you know, Luffy and Kizaru, you see how hurtful Kizaru was when he actually was trying to damage or unalive his best friend. Like, we seen the tears from him. We seen how he was so sad in some of these panels. We seen already Kizaru having a hard time trying to digest what he had to do to Dr. Vegapunk, right? So to see him crying is not a surprise to me. It's just some of the people who thought he didn't care about Dr. Vegapunk are so surprised. But I already said this chapters ago that Kizaru is sad right now. The way it was one animation I had that actually had Luffy punching Kizaru, he's flying on the ship, and he was actually had his arm over his head, and we all think we seen a tear, and I'm pretty sure that was a tear after he assassinated Dr. Vegapunk. So this should not come as a surprise of him just really crying out, talking to Akainu or the Denden Mushin. The whole One Piece world seen hints of this during the fight, so just to see this and him crying and really grieving. Actually, he's grieving for his best friend that he had to unalive because of his business, what he had to do, right? He became a dog, and evidently that dog made him do something that he's gonna regret for the rest of his life. I know one thing, I can't wait to see this animated between Kizaru and Akainu, and seeing Kizaru actually crying out. Like, we never seen this from Kizaru to the point where he's like this, he's grieving, he's crying. We're not used to this. We're used to him being lazy, just slacking off with the lips movement. We're so used to that. But to see somebody like this, where we're not used to this, it's amazing to see, you know, the animals, but they're humans also. They're strong humans, but they're humans also. And hopefully Kizaru could understand that this is not just another day at the office. This is something that he shouldn't have to do. And it probably was gravitated towards why I have to do this, but he should not question the 5 elders when his line of duty of work. So I understand that. But just like Kizaru and Lucci in this mini arc of Egghead, like, they should question the things that the 5 elders do from now on out. Like, we've seen Lucci question it, but you know, he's the throughout dog that he's gonna do whatever he needed to do for the 5 elders. Kizaru, on the other hand, was gonna do what he needed to do, but he also knew what he was gonna do was gonna be a great grievance to him at the end of this arc. Like, you really have to feel for Kizaru in this arc. Like, he really asked Akainu, have you ever had to kill your best friend? That right there took the icing off the cake. Like, I don't want the cake anymore. That is super sad. But at the same time, Luffy them are on way to Elbaf, and Luffy was sad about not achieving his mission of saving Dr. Vegapunk, trying to get him off Egghead. But you know, Lilith came in the clutch, and I knew that Lilith would get updated exactly what happened on Egghead, and she got updated very fast when she woke up, and she cried for a minute and got back right, and she briefly told the Straw Hats that, you know, the satellites are not dead, you know, because their body gone, they're still alive. And Luffy actually was happy all over again, and I'm happy for Luffy for that. And Zoro just being so mean, like he's a Yonko, like an old man died, you shouldn't feel type of way about it. But man, you know how Luffy is. Luffy failed, he feel like he failed Dr. Vegapunk, but Dr. Vegapunk and the satellites will live forever inside Lilith, and I feel like Lilith can recreate those satellites. She can't recreate Dr. Vegapunk essentially, but I'm pretty sure she can recreate these satellites some way, some shape or form. Her and Frankie can actually recreate these beings. Now, I think Lilith, being the evil person she is, she might put them in different bodies and make it, you know, funny, but I'm pretty sure they will be alive soon, as long as Lilith's still here. Sooner or later, we're gonna see the rest of the satellites come back alive, essentially. But I feel as though, because it's Lilith leading everything, they're not going to be in the same body. But the way that Luffy took it when she said everyone's alive, like, his whole perspective, his whole demeanor changed, and now they're toasting it up, which is a happy moment for the Straw Hats and, you know, the Giants, which is good. We don't like seeing Luffy so gloomy. But the most thing everyone was surprised at or was shocked at is the last panel where we see this guy sitting on the shores of Egghead with a hat on and actually drinking a bottle. Basically, his dialogue was, "Oh, come." Now, I don't know if he has some freakish observation hockey. This guy is on a whole other level. Like, we seen him with Crocus, right? And this might be the same person. We seen it somewhere, and this might be the same person, but we don't know yet. But in my thought frame, I'm like, how did he know that they was on the way to Elbaf unless somebody already told him, called him in, that Luffy and gangs are on the way? Or he can actually see them with observation hockey from a far distance. Now, that is some Roger type of hockey. That is some Joy Boy type of hockey. Or he just knows that they are on their way because somebody called them and told him that the Straw Hats are on their way. Who do you guys think this mystery man is? Because it could be Gabon. Everybody thinks it's a Gabon who actually seen Crocus, like, or this is somebody else, hopefully some new character, but he's expecting the Straw Hats. So whoever he is, he knows the Straw Hats. He knows they're on their way, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna welcome them with open arms to Elbaf, right? So I can't wait to see who this is. Hopefully it's a new character, but if it's an old character, it's gonna be so shocking. And like I said, maybe it's Sal. If he lost a lot of weight, he was struggling out, he was stressing, he lost a lot of weight. Maybe it is, but I don't think it's Sal at all. But Robin's happy to see Sal. We're gonna see Sal. He's gonna give us so much dialogue about the Void Century, about what happened on Hyra. Like this gonna be Robin's moment of meeting Sal and being so happy. But my mind is going so crazy who this mystery man could be. Is what can he tell him to come on the Straw Hats? I'm so super hype about this. We are on break next week, but don't worry, One Piece is still gonna come, and I'm telling you right now, I want to know who this mysterious man is, or this mysterious woman is. It's really hurting my mind to know that there's some mysterious character that we're gonna finally see, hopefully the next chapter after the break or after that. Like I'm super soaked, I'm so happy, can't wait to see it. I want to know who it is right now, like immediately. The chapter didn't have too much going on. Finding off of Elbaf, Mystery Man, and Morgans, and Vivi. Nothing too much actually going on that we can go dive in depth with. But chapter was still pretty good. 8 out of 10 for the chapter. You can give it 7 out of 10. It's still good. We're on the way to Elbaf. Egghead is over with. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, get more of me and more One Piece content. And I always love you. Love yourself. Peace.